Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Shake Sales. My name is Sujan Patel. I'm the founder of Mailshake. I've got Tyler Lessard here. Welcome, Tyler. He's from Vidyard,
Hey,
head of marketing.
thanks so much. So excited to be here to chat a little bit about video in sales. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. So, I've found one of the best ways to stand out from the crowd and really show a personalized touch is to your prospects, or really, I've done this in interviews, business development meetings, acquiring a company, is to create a personalized video and send it to the other person, right? Like I just interviewed somebody and they sent me a personalized video and I'm just like, I didn't even watch it and I got the emotional reaction. Like, thank you for taking the time to do that,
Yeah.
right? But we want to talk about the power of video in selling. So what have you guys, you clearly are a platform. It works for thousands of customers. Why does it work? Or like, what do you see? How
Yeah.
do you see it working?
Yeah. This has been a really exciting area over the last few years in particular, as
Mhm.
like to your point, sales reps look for new ways to stand out with prospective buyers. It seems to be harder and harder every year, every month, every week to get people's attention with, emails, cold calls, social selling. And so we found that including video messages as part of that outreach strategy has gone a long way to helping stand out from the noise, to kind of have that stronger first impression with people. And perhaps most importantly, to create an element of trust between yourself and your potential prospect. When they have a chance to see you on video, hear you, get to know you, it really does change that dynamic from that very first sort of click of the play button.
Mhm.
And it's something that again over the last few years has become really easy and simple to do. And just most salespeople either don't know that they can do it, or they haven't gotten to the point where they feel really comfortable or efficient recording and sending videos as part of their outreach. So it's been a really exciting trend to see. We've seen a lot of great results from it, but honestly, we're still very much in our early days to this becoming a part of the mainstream.
I love it. I think from an end user perspective, there's a lot of value in using video. One, what most people think, I got to send a personalized video. You don't. Vidyard has a bunch of integrations as well as like their own product offering, but you could use this when prospecting. Essentially, like create a video that is personalized to your ICP. So let's say
Yep.
I'm going after VP of marketing. I'm going to create a very hyper personalized message, not to Tyler, but to his role, right? And I'll use that same video to like everybody, right? And what's cool is like when you copy and paste a link in the email, it automatically embeds like a thumbnail.
That's right.
And then the thumbnail gets you just more exposure, right? I find it very, very helpful there. And it feels like that video, even though it's one to many, it's one to one. It's simple. And then then you can like, once you get the conversation going, then you could send a one-on-one message, right?
Yeah, 100%. To your point, even the kind of one-to-many style videos,
Yeah.
they end up, they end up feeling a lot more personal, right? And there's like, yes, more personalized, but even just that element of it feeling more personal, more intimate, making you again more familiar, all that stuff goes a super long way. So we see people using it in those sort of different tiers, right? Like there is the true one-to-one, like, I'm prospecting you and I might record a video where either it's just me on my webcam, or maybe I'm sharing my screen along with my camera and I'm on Mailshake's website, or I'm on, your LinkedIn profile, or I have like a podcast episode open behind me on the screen of a podcast you were on. And in
Yeah.
that case, I might say like, hey, Sujan, Tyler from Vidyard here. I was listening to this podcast, up on my screen here, and I heard you say ABC. The reason I'm reaching out is XYZ. And like
Mhm.
that's the hyper personalized. And then to your point, there's like the one to few where people will use it perhaps for a key account. So I might be
Mhm.
prospecting Mailshake as a company. So I'm going to make one video for Mailshake and send it to a number of different folks. And then there's the one to many, which to your
Yeah.
point is to a certain persona or others. And these all work really, really well and are a great way to be both more personal and then ultimately more personalized.
Yeah, absolutely. So like top of the funnel, like just like, so let's jump into the weeds of like
Yeah.
how, if you're not doing video now, how you can use it. So one way is, like I mentioned, one to many using a prospecting tool. You've got a list of ICPs you're going after. Send a very specific message to your ICP, one to many. You mentioned one to one or account
Yep.
one to many, one to few with the accounts. Um, and like just kind of going down the funnel, one of my favorite ways when you have a deal that's open, you've got, and you're multi-threading, right? I mean, these
Yep.
days, if you're in B2B sales and you're not multi-threading, you are missing out, right? Like multi-threading, what I mean by that is like omni-channel, so using multiple like channels to connect. And then number two is looping in other decision makers slash like buyers into the mix. But one of my favorite ways is you got a deal, it's hanging there. We all know this. Like there's like the last mile takes like 90% of the effort slash
Yeah.
time. And this is when I send a video and I start multi-threading. I'm like, hey, like I'm like video, like this is what I do. I have an email of the conversation. Like, hey, I was talking to your team, blah blah, and they're like excited about this, like buying Mailshake. What's going on? Like, what's the hurdle? What's the holdup? I
Yeah.
hear like your CFO has to sign off on this, or like there's a legal procurement. Like I just say, we got 50,000 users. Let me know if we can help in any way. Right. And it's like,
Yep.
sometimes it's me saying it, but it's another person. Anyways, that's, moving things along. And I want to go and jump into one like level deeper in regards to video and moving things along that pipeline. From my understanding, you guys have like a deal room as well, right? So how do you use video there?
Yeah, well, like what we found, like that's a great example what you talked about of these like individual videos to different stakeholders. In some cases, it might be to new folks that you're meeting. Those allow them to get to know you, to get to trust you, frankly, without having to get on a live call. So that's amazing. You're kind of creating FaceTime. We also see these other use cases where, prospect is asking you a question, something's not clear. Maybe they want to know how a certain feature works or how you compare to a competitor or whatever it happens to be. Recording a short video using a screen share, whatever it happens to be, sending that over and providing it can go a long way because it's way more powerful than just writing in an email. But it also doesn't require you to say, hey, let's book time next week and let me walk you through it live, right? So it kind of gives you the best of both worlds. We also then see people, doing proposal videos where they're walking through. So there's all these different use cases. And to your point around the digital sales room, what we found from a lot of these folks is, hey, like this stuff really works. And I'm all in on using these videos. But now I'm at a point where, I've sent my customer 10 different videos, to answer different questions, to walk through certain things. And I'd love a place where I could just put all those videos in one spot, send that link over to all the stakeholders and say, hey, here's where you can find all the different resources you need to access to make a decision about what we're trying to do here. And so that really spawned Vidyard Rooms, which has actually grown up into a full digital sales room where people can put all those different videos in one place, as well as other documents and links related to the deal. So again, it could be actually uploading and sharing your proposal. It could be links to other resources that they might want to access. It could be your mutual action plan, all of these sorts of things. So it's been really exciting to see that roll out. And we've gotten like really phenomenal feedback from our users, both as a place to just like put all your different videos, but for those who are using it as a full kind of deal room now to bring their buyers together, one place
Mm-hmm.
to simplify the process, working really, really well. And I think what we're most excited about is it's this sort of like buyer first type of experience. Like it's really how a lot of people want to buy now. Like they don't want to have to get on calls. They don't want to have to share lots of different links. They want one simple place online where they can collaborate with a seller. And we think it's a really awesome opportunity.
Love it, love it. And I think like I bet some folks watching this video think like, oh, I'm not doing enterprise deals. I don't need a data room or a room. I think there's a lot of value even in high velocity or any size deal because having everything in one place saves you like 1,000 emails to go back and forth. Like, can you send me this document again? Or like, let me forward this. And especially in 2023 and going 2024, there's been layoffs like galore, right? It's not unusual where your champion or some stakeholder in the buying process no longer is at the company. And then you have to go back like 10 steps
Yeah.
to get them to like the place. And so like just having a centralized place is super impactful. One of the things like the way I describe kind of video, Vidyard and using video and selling is it's like Zoom to in-person meetings, right? So you've got Zoom. This feels like we're connected. Obviously it's not in person. We're not shaking hands or whatever, but we feel connected. But like now, let's say you're in a buy, you're selling to somebody. They're in the buying cycle. To get that like connected feeling, you need to do another Zoom meeting or another meeting. Well,
Right.
to get the schedules aligned and all that stuff might take like a week. Well, in that week, you could simulate that connection by answering their email. Hey, do you have this feature? Hey, so and so, and answer in video format. So it might be a one-way communication, but let's be real. The purpose of the meetings and all that stuff is not for you to know the buyer. It's for the buyer to know you and your company. And so they get that feeling. You spent 5 minutes. And frankly, in my opinion, watching a video, a 30-second, 1-minute video is way better than reading an email.
Yeah. 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 100%. I love how you put that. And I think about it as, these videos create these, what I call these micro moments of connection throughout your deal cycle. Like every time you're getting them, a few times a week, they're watching you for another minute, another 2 minutes, another 3 minutes, and you're becoming more familiar. You're becoming more memorable. You're becoming more trustworthy with every one of those interactions. And that's really, really important. So you create these micro moments of connection. You're kind of walking the digital halls is another way I like to say it, of like, in the old world of sales, it'd be like, yeah, go to their office, walk the halls, meet people, shake hands, right? Build rapport. We don't do that anymore. These short videos are ways for people to do that, to get to know you. And again, I think that we sometimes underappreciate the importance and that power of like familiarity, of trustworthiness, of FaceTime. And again, if we only rely on Zoom calls to have that, it's going to be tough because more and more people don't want to schedule those meetings. And often it's just not the most efficient way to do it anyway.
Absolutely. And I want to end with one thing here. This is, I think, a very powerful way / like hack you can use to get more people participating in Vidyard and or personalized videos. So we've got, our buying process, there's like some procurement obscurity, some legalese, some security related questions. It's usually a long form or whatever, right? So this, for the bigger deals, I can get my CTO to be like, hey, let me give you an overview of our security protocol. We do this, that, the other, like how we secure things. 3-minute overview. I use that video all the time, like because it's a common objection, right? And I could do the same thing. Now, normally you'd have to loop that person in. You loop me in the actual demo to close the deal. You've scaled these busy / unreachable people with the personalized video. Again, one to many still, right? One to objection, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so good because it brings in them as the subject matter expert. So it's more credible. They have the ability to like share their screen, actually put those like security terms up or whatever it is and like highlight them, right? Like our finance team will do the same thing, or our legal team when they're reviewing contracts or when we're sending something over. It'll be like, hey, I'm going to record this short video walking through and I'm going to highlight here on page 4. We often get questions about this term and the reason it's there, what it means, right? It gives you a chance to clearly articulate it and bring in, to your point, other subject matter experts. So love that. Great example.
Cool. Awesome. So where can people go to get started?
I mean, you can try out and use Vidyard for free. So just head over to vidyard.com. You can sign up. You can start recording and sending video messages for prospecting, for, moving your deal cycles forward. You can even try out the digital sales rooms and start using them for free. And let us know what you think. So check it out and feel free to connect with myself on LinkedIn if you have any questions or need any advice.
Thanks, Tyler. And like I said, you guys have a bunch of integrations. So whatever sales tech stack you use, very good chance that you're going to work right in that flow seamlessly. So go check it out.
Awesome. Thank you very much.